This was the moment fans had been waiting for. And when Karol G stepped onto the stage in Los Angeles alongside Bruno Mars, the atmosphere instantly changed. For the first time ever, the two superstars performed Still live together, turning night 2 of Karol G's Los Angeles concert into a night that fans will be talking about for a long time. Before we get into everything that happened during this highly anticipated performance, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a comment telling us what you think about Karol G and Bruno Mars performing Still together for the first time. Was this the collaboration you were hoping to see live? Because what happened in Los Angeles was more than just another surprise guest appearance. It was the live debut of a song that had already generated enormous attention among fans of both artists. Karol G and Bruno Mars have become two of the biggest names in global music, each representing a different side of modern pop culture. Karol G has built an international empire around Latin music, reggaeton, pop, and her unmistakable Colombian identity, while Bruno Mars has spent more than a decade establishing himself as one of the most versatile performers in contemporary music. So when the two worlds finally collided on stage for Still, expectations were naturally massive. And then the lights went down. The crowd knew something special was happening. The energy inside the Los Angeles venue began to rise as Karol G continued her performance. Thousands of fans were already singing, dancing, recording, and waiting to see what might happen next. But there was one question hanging over the night. Would Bruno Mars actually appear? Then came the moment. Bruno Mars walked onto the stage. The reaction was immediate. Fans erupted as Karol G welcomed one of the most recognizable performers in the world into her Los Angeles show. And suddenly, Still was no longer just a studio collaboration. It was happening live, for the first time. That distinction matters because music fans can experience a song in many different ways. They can hear it on Spotify, watch the music video, stream it on Apple Music, see clips on TikTok, or listen to it through headphones hundreds of times. But hearing a song live with the artist standing on the same stage is something completely different. And that is exactly why the first live performance of Still became such a major moment. Karol G and Bruno Mars were not simply singing the track. They were bringing a collaboration that had existed through recordings and digital platforms into a real concert environment, where every reaction from the crowd became part of the performance. And the chemistry was impossible to ignore. Karol G brought her distinctive Latin pop energy, while Bruno Mars delivered the smooth vocal presence and stage charisma that have become trademarks of his performances. Together, they created a moment that felt both unexpected and strangely natural. That contrast is what made the performance so compelling. On one side, you have Karol G, a global Latin superstar who has transformed the international perception of Colombian music and become one of the most influential female artists in the world. On the other, you have Bruno Mars, a multi-talented singer, songwriter, producer, dancer, and live performer whose catalog stretches across pop, R&B, funk, soul, hip-hop, and retro-inspired sounds. Different backgrounds, different musical journeys, different audiences. But somehow, the two artists found a common language through Still, and Los Angeles became the place where that connection finally came alive on stage. The timing was especially significant. Karol G's Los Angeles concerts have attracted enormous attention because of the scale of her performances and the passionate fanbase surrounding her. Los Angeles is also one of the most important entertainment capitals in the world, making it the perfect backdrop for a surprise appearance involving two international superstars. For fans in the building, this was not something they had to watch later on social media. They were there. They experienced the first notes. They heard the crowd reaction. They saw Karol G and Bruno Mars sharing the stage in real time. And within moments, the internet began doing what it always does when two major artists create a major concert moment. Clips began spreading. Fan accounts began posting reactions. Short videos started appearing across social media. People who were not even inside the venue suddenly had a way to experience pieces of the moment through their phones. But there was something else happening underneath all the excitement. The performance demonstrated just how powerful a cross-cultural collaboration can become when two artists are operating at the highest level of global music. Karol G has helped bring Latin music and Spanish-language pop even further into the global mainstream. Bruno Mars has consistently crossed genre boundaries throughout his career, connecting with audiences across different countries and generations. That makes Still more than just a collaboration between two famous names. It represents the meeting of two enormous global audiences. And when those audiences meet inside a concert venue, the result can be electric. Think about the build-up. Fans had already heard the song. They knew the melody. They knew the voices. They knew the collaboration. But nobody could completely predict what the live version would feel like. Would Bruno change his delivery? Would Karol G add something different? Would the two artists interact with each other? Would the crowd sing along? Would the performance feel intimate or explosive? Those questions are exactly what make a first live performance so exciting. Because the audience is not simply watching a finished product. They are watching the artists create a new version of the song in front of them. And that is what happened during Night 2 in Los Angeles. The performance became a shared experience between Karol G, Bruno Mars, and the fans. There was also a powerful visual element to the moment. Karol G was performing in front of her home audience in one of the world's biggest entertainment markets, while Bruno Mars arrived as the surprise presence capable of instantly changing the atmosphere of the entire venue. 1 second, it was a Karol G concert. The next, it became a Bruno Mars and Karol G moment. That kind of transformation is rare. And this is where the story gets even more interesting. Because the real question is not simply why Bruno Mars appeared. The bigger question is what this performance could mean for the future of Still. A song can take on a completely different life once fans see it performed live. The first live performance creates new memories. It generates new fan videos, creates new social media moments. It gives the audience a performance they can talk about. And for Still, the Los Angeles debut could become one of those defining moments. Imagine the clips appearing online. Bruno Mars walking onto the stage. Karol G reacting to the crowd. The first lines of Still. The audience realizing what is happening. The two voices coming together. And then the entire venue singing along. Those are the moments that become concert memories. They are the moments fans save on their phones. The moments that appear in fan edits. The moments that return years later whenever people talk about a particular era of an artist's career. And there is another reason this performance stands out. Bruno Mars is currently in one of the busiest and most talked about periods of his career. With his music, touring schedule, major collaborations, and global fan base continuing to generate headlines, every major public appearance carries additional attention. Karol G is also operating at an extraordinary level. Her ability to connect Latin music with global pop audiences has made her one of the defining artists of her generation. Put those two forces together, and the attention becomes almost inevitable. The Los Angeles performance, therefore, became a perfect example of how modern music works. A concert is no longer confined to the people inside the venue. A single performance can travel around the world within minutes. One fan records a clip, another fan reposts it, a music account shares it, entertainment pages discuss it. Fans begin analyzing every second, and suddenly, a performance that happened in Los Angeles becomes a global conversation. That is exactly why first-time live performances matter so much in today's music industry. They create moments that cannot be replicated in exactly the same way. The studio recording will always exist. The official track will always be available. But the first time Karol G and Bruno Mars performed Still together live, that moment happened once. Night 2 in Los Angeles. And everyone who witnessed it became part of that history. There is also something beautiful about the contrast between the two artists' performance styles. Karol G has an ability to turn a stadium or arena into a giant celebration. Her performances often combine powerful visuals, choreography, emotional storytelling, and the infectious rhythm associated with Latin music. Bruno Mars approaches the stage differently. His strength is often rooted in musicianship, precision, charisma, choreography, live vocals, and an old-school understanding of entertainment. He can command a massive audience with a single gesture. He can shift from smooth vocals to explosive choreography. And he understands how to make a live performance feel like an event. When those styles meet, there is a natural tension. And that tension is exactly what makes the collaboration interesting. Karol G doesn't have to become Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars doesn't have to become Karol G. Instead, they bring their own identities to the same song. That is what gives Still, its live debut, a unique character. The audience gets to hear the song through two completely different performance traditions. And perhaps the most important part is that neither artist needed to overpower the other. The moment worked because it felt collaborative. That is something fans recognize immediately. A great collaboration is not simply two famous artists standing beside each other. It is about whether their voices, personalities, and musical identities make sense together. On this night, the audience's reaction suggested that the combination had real impact. And then came the moment everyone would remember. Karol G and Bruno Mars standing together on stage. The crowd singing. The lights moving across the venue. Phones in the air. Fans realizing they were witnessing the first ever live performance of Still. For those few minutes, the song existed in an entirely different form. It wasn't just audio anymore. It was a memory. It was a concert moment. It was a shared experience. And that is the real power of live music. A song can be streamed billions of times, but one unforgettable performance can still make people feel like they are discovering it for the first time. That is what makes the Karol G and Bruno Mars moment in Los Angeles so fascinating. It brought together two enormous fan bases and created something that could only happen in front of a live audience. And now, the question becomes what comes next. Will Still appear again during another Karol G performance? Could Bruno Mars and Karol G perform the song together at another major event? Could fans eventually get another live version, perhaps with a different arrangement? Those possibilities are exactly what make this moment so exciting. Nothing needs to be assumed. Nothing needs to be exaggerated. The important fact is already big enough. Karol G and Bruno Mars performed Still live together for the first time during night 2 of her Los Angeles concert. That is the headline. And it is a headline powerful enough to generate conversation across music communities around the world. For Bruno Mars fans, it is another unforgettable performance from an artist known for delivering special live moments. For Karol G fans, it is another example of her ability to create major cultural moments on stage. And for fans of both artists, it is the collaboration they finally got to see come alive. The internet may continue debating the best part of the performance. Some fans will focus on the vocals. Others will talk about the chemistry. Others will replay the moment Bruno Mars appeared on stage. And some will simply remember the feeling of being inside that venue when the surprise became reality. But perhaps the biggest takeaway is simple. Music is not only about what happens in the studio. Sometimes, the real magic happens when the artists step onto a stage and give a song a completely new life. And on this night in Los Angeles, Karol G and Bruno Mars did exactly that. Still had already existed as a recording. Now it has a live memory attached to it. A first performance. A first crowd. A first reaction. A first moment shared between two global superstars. And years from now, when fans look back at the era of Karol G and Bruno Mars, this could remain one of those performances that instantly brings back the energy of the moment. The lights. The screaming fans. The surprise. The music. And two of the biggest names in global pop standing together on one stage. Night 2 in Los Angeles will now have its own place in the story. Karol G and Bruno Mars have officially taken Still from the recording studio to the live stage. And if this first performance is any indication, fans may not be ready to let this moment disappear anytime soon. So now the conversation belongs to you. What did you think of Karol G and Bruno Mars performing Still live for the first time? Was this the collaboration you wanted to see on stage? And do you think they should perform Still together again? Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more breaking music news, Bruno Mars updates, Karol G news, live performance moments, celebrity entertainment, and the biggest stories from the world of global music. Because when two superstars share one stage, you never know what unforgettable moment could happen next. The reaction to that first live performance did not end when the final notes of Still faded away. In many ways, that was only the beginning, because the moment Karol G and Bruno Mars shared the stage in Los Angeles, the performance immediately became bigger than the venue itself. Fans who were inside the concert had their own memories, while millions of people watching clips online began experiencing the moment from completely different perspectives. And that is one of the most fascinating things about modern concert culture. A performance can happen in one city, at one specific moment, but within minutes, it can become a global music story. That is exactly what happened with Karol G and Bruno Mars. The first live performance of Still instantly gave fans something they had never seen before. The two artists performing the collaboration together in front of a live audience. Suddenly, every detail became interesting. The entrance, the crowd reaction, the vocal delivery, the chemistry between the two performers, the way Karol G reacted to Bruno Mars being on stage. And, of course, the energy coming from thousands of fans who understood that they were witnessing something special. But there is another layer to the story. Karol G's Los Angeles concerts represent more than just another stop on a concert schedule. Los Angeles is one of the most important entertainment centers in the world, a city where music, film, fashion, celebrity culture, and social media constantly intersect. That means a major performance in Los Angeles can have an enormous ripple effect. And bringing Bruno Mars into that environment made the moment even more significant. Bruno Mars has spent years building a reputation as one of the world's most accomplished live entertainers. His performances are known for precision, musicianship, choreography, showmanship, and an ability to connect with massive audiences. Karol G has developed her own performance identity, one built around Latin music, powerful visual production, emotional connection, and an extraordinary relationship with her fans. When those two approaches meet, the result naturally attracts attention. But the real magic was not simply seeing two famous people together. It was seeing two artists from different musical worlds find common ground. Karol G's roots are deeply connected to Colombian and Latin music culture. Bruno Mars has built his sound by blending pop, R&B, soul, funk, hip-hop, and classic performance influences. Their collaboration demonstrates how today's biggest artists can move beyond traditional genre boundaries. A song does not need to belong to one market anymore. It can travel. It can connect different languages, different cultures, and completely different fan communities. And Still became another example of that global musical connection. Look at the reaction from the audience. The excitement wasn't only about Bruno Mars appearing. It was also about what his appearance represented. Fans had been given a rare opportunity to hear a collaboration in the exact environment where live music becomes most powerful. There is no studio editing in that moment. There is no second take. There is no ability to stop the crowd. Everything happens in real time, and that creates a special kind of tension. What if something unexpected happens? What if the crowd gets louder than the music? What if the artists change the arrangement? What if Bruno adds an improvisation? What if Karol changes her delivery? Those possibilities are what make live performances so addictive to watch. And when two major artists perform together for the first time, that uncertainty becomes even stronger. That is why fans will continue replaying clips from this performance. Every replay gives viewers another detail to notice. One person might focus on Bruno's vocals. Another might focus on Karol G's stage presence. Someone else might be watching the audience. Another fan might be analyzing the interaction between the two artists. And then there are the fans who simply want to relive the surprise. That is the power of a genuine concert moment. It does not have to be manufactured. It does not need a complicated explanation. Sometimes the surprise itself is enough. And this particular surprise arrived at the perfect moment. Karol G was already commanding the stage. The audience was fully engaged. Then Bruno Mars appeared. The energy shifted. That shift is what made the performance feel bigger than a normal duet. Created a before and after moment. Before Bruno arrived, the audience was watching Karol G. After he appeared, everyone knew they were witnessing a unique collaboration. And that transition is exactly the type of moment that performs extremely well across social media. A short clip can communicate the entire story without needing a long explanation. Bruno Mars appears. The crowd screams. Karol G smiles. The opening of Still begins. And suddenly, viewers understand why everyone is talking about it. But perhaps the most interesting part is what this could mean for the song itself. Live performances can change how audiences perceive a track. A studio recording gives listeners one definitive version. A live performance creates possibilities. Fans can hear different vocal choices, different arrangements, different interactions. And when the artists perform together, the song becomes part of their stage chemistry. That can give a collaboration a second wave of attention. People who already know Still may return to the original recording. People who discover the song through the concert clip may search for it. Fans may create edits. Reaction videos may appear. Music pages may discuss the performance. And suddenly, one concert appearance creates an entire ecosystem of online content. This is particularly powerful for global artists like Karol G and Bruno Mars. Their audiences are not limited to one country. Their music reaches fans across North America, Latin America, Europe, Asia, and beyond. So a moment created in Los Angeles can quickly become a conversation in multiple languages and different parts of the world. That is the modern music industry. The stage is local. The audience online is global. And Bruno Mars and Karol G understand that dynamic better than most. There is also an emotional component that should not be overlooked. Fans don't just follow artists because of songs. They follow eras. They follow stories. They follow friendships and collaborations. They remember concerts. They remember surprise appearances. They remember the exact moment an artist walked onto a stage. For many fans who attended Karol G's Night 2 show, Bruno Mars' appearance will become one of those memories. Years from now, they may still be able to remember where they were standing when the crowd suddenly exploded. That is what makes live music so powerful. A recording can be replayed forever, but the feeling of experiencing something for the first time can never be recreated exactly. And that is why the phrase "first time live" carries so much weight. This was not simply another performance of Still. It was the beginning of the song's live history, the first audience, the first live chemistry, the first time fans could see Karol G and Bruno Mars perform the song together in person. And that gives the Los Angeles performance a special place in the story of the collaboration. Of course, fans are already going to wonder whether this will happen again. Could Bruno Mars return for another Karol G show? Could Still become part of future performances? Could the two artists eventually perform the song at another major music event? Those are questions fans can speculate about, but there is no need to invent answers. For now, the confirmed moment is already exciting enough. They did it. They performed Still together live for the first time. And they did it in Los Angeles. That alone is enough to make this a major entertainment story. It also shows the continuing importance of collaborations in modern pop music. The biggest songs today often cross boundaries. Artists collaborate across genres. Latin music continues to influence mainstream pop. Pop stars work with R&B artists. English language performers collaborate with Spanish-speaking artists. And audiences embrace it. Karol G and Bruno Mars represent that evolution in different ways. Their collaboration demonstrates that global music does not need to fit neatly into one category. A song can be romantic, rhythmic, emotional, stylish, and commercially accessible at the same time. And when the artists behind it are strong performers, that music can become even more powerful on stage. This is why the Los Angeles performance deserves attention beyond the initial viral clips. It is not only about Bruno Mars making a surprise appearance. It is about what happens when two established artists give a collaborative song its first real live identity. The audience becomes part of the arrangement. The crowd noise becomes part of the atmosphere. The reactions become part of the memory. And the performance becomes something that cannot be completely duplicated. That is the difference between watching a music video and attending a concert. You are not simply consuming the music. You are witnessing it happen. And for everyone inside that Los Angeles venue, still happened right in front of them. The moment also reinforces why Bruno Mars remains such a compelling live performer. Even after years at the highest level of the music industry, his appearance can still generate an immediate reaction. One entrance is enough to change the atmosphere of an entire venue. That is star power. But Karol G deserves equal attention here. She created the stage environment where the collaboration could happen. Her concert became the platform for this unexpected meeting. And her ability to bring such a massive global artist into her show speaks to the scale of her career and her influence. This is not simply a Latin music story. It is not simply a Bruno Mars story. It is a global pop culture story. Two major artists. One song. One stage. One unforgettable first performance. And now, the footage from that night can continue traveling around the world. Fans will watch it, rewatch it, share it, analyze it, and debate their favorite moments. Some will say the biggest moment was Bruno's entrance. Others will say it was the vocal chemistry. Others will focus on Karol G's reaction. But the real winner may simply be the song itself. Because Still now has something it did not have before. A live memory. And that memory belongs to the fans who were there and the millions who are discovering the moment online. The story of Karol G and Bruno Mars performing Still is therefore far from being just another celebrity headline. It is a reminder of why people continue going to concerts, why fans wait outside venues, why people travel